Welcome to Nike Pod Sessions. I'm your host, James Buford. Join us as we talk with Nike creatives about why they did it, what they did, and what inspires them to keep doing it here on Nike Pod Sessions. Today we have a special guest, Cyrus Coleman, apparel product designer from Nike Basketball.
Cyrus Coleman from Austin, Texas. I went to the University of North Texas for communication design. It's my official degree with the focus in graphic design. I kind of fell into that, actually. It's kind of lucky in a way. I always grew up drawing and playing sports, and like most kids, I was like wanting to be a professional athlete. Basketball was my first love, but football, it's Texas football country. So I was a little bit more built for the football game than I was the basketball game. So that was my main goal, was to like go to college and play football and then go pro and yada yada. But like soon realized that's probably not my route. So I was like, well, I've always drawn and I always wanted to do that. So part of why I went to University of North Texas was because they're like an art school. They're like a Grammy award winning like jazz program, and just a D1 terrible football school. So I was like, all right, maybe I could walk on, do art, keep it going. And
Did you play at all?
Well, I started to walk on. I actually went through the process, and then just the requirements of like time, like your whole morning has to be clear, dedicated to football, and then you go to class at like 12 after. But the lucky part was I got into graphic design, and like that program actually was like a top 10 design school, and just the dedication that required you to go through that, like I wouldn't have been able to do both. Like the classes I needed to take were in the morning, and they're only offered like once a year, and so I was just like, well, probably not going to go pro, so let me put that to bed. But I stayed active. I did intramurals. I actually played rugby for the club, the school club team. But
Rugby is tough. That's a tough sport.
I actually love rugby. I still don't really know all the rules, but
I don't know if anybody does. Like I mean, I enjoy watching it. I mean, games don't come on here, but like when I was traveling overseas, I just see it on like televisions and stuff and watch it.
That was the beautiful thing about rugby, is like, it's not very popular over here. So
yeah,
us subpar football players like shine. So I was like, I was a star on the rugby team, but it was a lot of fun. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. That's surprising that Texas has, I mean, a rugby team, like having that in the school, like them wanting to either implement that, or I wonder how long, do you know how long they had that as a sport there?
I don't really know, because it was a club sport. It wasn't like an official, like you kind of had to pay your way.
Yeah, so it wasn't like they weren't playing other schools or anything. It was more like
we play UT and like SMU and like other colleges, but most of them were club teams, so like not like school sponsored or anything.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I mean, there's like also professional like teams in the area, like Dallas clubs, Austin even. Like I started playing in high school. One of my art class art classmates, he was really into rugby, and he recruited a bunch of us football players to like play on the Austin area high school rugby team. It wasn't even like all Austin High where I went to school. It was like the Austin area high schools.
Oh, okay. So you got people from all over,
That's
like
how unpopular rugby is.
yeah, you had to like dip into other schools to just
Yeah.
get your full roster. In terms of like the graphic design portion of it, like was graphic design something that you just knew about and you were just like, okay, I'm gonna go for that, or was it like you kind of
No,
dipped and dabbled?
yeah, to get back on track, that's part of like the lucky part because I always just been in art class that I like to draw and like so I was
Mhm.
like drawing and painting, like, all right, sign me up. And then, I was like, well, I'm not really trying to be the starving artist and like be trying to pawn off these paintings and I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. How do you make money as an artist? So graphic design uh, was like what I found out about. And then it just so happened that UNT had like a really good program. And really, I attribute where I'm at today to that program. And yeah, so I found out about it there when I got there. I didn't really go there like thinking, okay, I'm going to do like the graphic design program at UNT. It was like, no, this is what it is, and it's crazy. There's going to be like portfolio reviews every year. You might get cut. It was super stressful. I actually didn't even had to
Yeah.
drop out for a little bit and then go back.
So you took some time off.
Yeah, I mean, I did take time off. It was uh, a lot of like just mental health, honestly.
Yeah.
I had a car accident. I was over exerting myself in the program. Like it's so crazy. Like I was literally like up 24 hours every other day and
Wow.
sleeping 12 like the next to like make up for it. And I had to like
Yeah.
ended up having a car accident because I like passed out while I was driving and I just woke up in a hospital and I was like, okay, I need
Wow.
to like drop out, focus on me, go home, chill.
Yeah. Just get that balance back.
Yeah, just like I was like part of it was I didn't make it into the program my freshman year. So it was like a 4-year program no matter what. So I was like, man, I gotta like work harder. I gotta make sure I don't get off track and like you know, you're told it's 4 years in college and then you're into your like professional life, which is not necessarily the case. Like
It doesn't always go that way.
I ended up graduating when I was well, so I ended up taking that time off, but I got my first internship in that time off as a graphic designer, just because I knew like I wanted to go back and like really finish and stay sharp, uh,
Yeah.
which I did end up doing, and
What kind of work were you doing in that between time?
it was an agency in Austin. They're not even around anymore, but it was like grunt work, dude. It was their biggest money making clients were like casinos in Oklahoma. So like
Oh, okay.
it was like a
Yeah.
lot of like flyers with like old
Yeah.
people applying money, just
Yeah. was
mailers.
it was it kind of like cheesy graphic type things too, like to get like entice people, or was it more like informational? I mean, casinos are they're all
It was like we want gradients and like stock imagery. And
yeah,
it's
yeah, I
like
got you.
you couldn't like you could try and design it and they'd be like, no, like they're not gonna like that. Like
Yeah, it was like too clean.
like
It was like too well designed.
the cliche like casino like look.
Yeah. I had a friend who was doing like party flyers. Like he's a graphic designer, but he like all through college he did like party flyers, and he always what he always wanted to like put his design spin on it, and people would just be like, "Dude, it's a party flyer. Like like we just need a hot girl, some like gradient script. I know what that looks like."
They did have some cool clients like Austin Film Festival. I ended up doing a poster for them.
Yeah.
It was uh it was like a 60-person agency. The design team was like maybe 10 people. One of my really good friends I actually met there. She actually moved out to Portland too, coincidentally. Um, but Yeah, so it wasn't anything really glamorous. It was just kind of like to just keep me doing something art related.
Yeah. So fast forward, like when you went back to school, did you feel like taking that time off, you were like, energized and like you kind of like had that time to really figure out what your path was going to be and like where you wanted to be or
It was a blessing in disguise. Like I definitely went back rested and energized and focused. I knew like, all right, no bullshit. Like I'm just gonna focus on this art stuff.
Mhm.
Um, like I felt kind of seasoned. Like I had been around, so I kind of felt like I had a leg up a little bit on my classmates that I ended up joining.
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting because I didn't really know any of them at first. I'm good friends with a lot of them now still, but
Mhm.
um, just like that weird feeling of like being a new kid, but
Yeah.
I've already been here, so whatever.
Sometimes that real world experience like really gives you a different work ethic and as well as like outlook on the assignments because like I mean I worked through school as well like I never took time off but I definitely had like classes either that I had like I've dropped classes to like get more work time because I needed money and like and I feel like there's something good about like working and educating yourself simultaneously or take kind of like getting real world experience and working or going to school would you
Absolutely.
say would you say that you had a different outlook for the work itself when you came back
Yeah, definitely. I had more of an idea of like the interview process of like whatever company or creative agency or whoever XYZ is going to be looking to hire you, like, okay, what they're looking for, what they need to see. Um, and that continued. Like, this was my junior year. So I ended up getting another internship in Dallas, like a lot better one, more design, a more proper, like legit
yeah
design studio instead of like some ad agency, um, which was really awesome. They actually helped me get out here. So working with them through school helped me shape my portfolio too. It was interesting, like even though like the school, the program I was in, like had all this praise, like in our senior year, our projects were kind of uh, in a weird order that didn't really make sense. It was like, all right, you're gonna do all this work, and then the last project of the semester, you're gonna do your portfolio. But there's like this national design student show. They would always have us enter in, and it was before the section of the semester where we were going to be working on our portfolio, but there's like a portfolio entry into this show. So I was just like, hey, I'm not going to do this project. I'm going to like work on my portfolio. And after, if I want to add it to it, I'll work on it. And they actually worked with me and were cool about that and like let me
nice
kind of rearrange the syllabus
yeah
to our advantage. And uh,
a lot of people wouldn't do I mean just to have that vision to say like this needs to be recalibrated. Like I want to do the work this way and then present it this way if I want to, but like that's pretty mature. Like a lot of students would they just like take the assignments and they're just like, all right, fine, we'll do it your way.
yeah, like it ended up working out. And I kind of do that. Like that's one of the main things that I learned was like, just because something's like proposed to you one way doesn't mean there's a better way. And it's like work smarter, not harder, like
Yeah,
kind of
totally.
use the system to game the system. Like I was like, I need these projects in my book, but I also need a book. So like, let me just work
Yeah,
on the book part.
yeah.
Like
Like
whatever projects we do, I can just plug it in.
yeah, good work is more important than just work. Like, a lot of people have like a lot of work or but it's like how much good work or great work do you really have? Curation is what gets you in the door, not always the amount. Taking that like and you getting to Nike and having those jobs, like how does it feel now? Like when you look at like, coming off of this MLK jersey and some of the teams that you've been able to work on in basketball. Like, was that in your was that in your view? Like, did you feel like, how do you feel now, just looking where you came from,
It's crazy.
as a,
That was nowhere near, like, before I got to Nike, like, I knew I wanted to be at Nike. That was like my main goal. It's like, I'd love that. And it's a kind of a crazy story how I like went about like just that whole week of like me trying to get my foot in the door and like get to talk to somebody. Back then, my view was like, I just want to work at Nike. Like, I don't know what I'll be doing. Like, I don't know. Do they design packages? Like, am I going to be working on some app? Like,
yeah,
designer at Nike, whatever it is. Like, I don't care. Like, I'll design like the bathroom signs, like whatever.
yeah, yeah.
I'll design the shipping packaging, like.
Which would probably be, I mean, would probably be dope, like as a job, like, I mean, Nike kind of they give everything the right amount of attention, even the things that we kind of overlook, like, shoe boxes and the wrapping paper. And I mean, a lot of people, Nike kind of like, there's a lot of design, but that people just overlook. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, to me, in my eyes, it's like, I don't care where I land, like,
Yeah.
the swoosh would be dope. And yeah, I mean, it just so happened like one of my favorite sports, basketball, was hiring. So that's part of like the blessing in disguise, because I was like, in my mind in college, I was like, oh man, I'm behind. Like, I should have been graduated like 3 years ago. I'm like late, yada yada. But had I not graduated when I did, it wouldn't have been like at the time, you know, Nike was acquiring the NBA contract and like building the basketball apparel team and meeting people. And then like I wasn't actually hired to do uniforms. I was hired to do graphic tees, and just the all hands on deck, like every person has an input in basketball, was how I got to work on like the uniforms. Like they just were like, hey, we need like more help, throw down sticks. And got to like first week, I'm in like coming from running start, like after that on Monday, like I texted Will. I was like, hey, like we just finished. So I swing by or just come by tomorrow? He's like, swing by. And so they show me the desk. I meet everybody and they give me like a backpack. I'm like, oh, my computer, like no Illustrator on there. The next day they're like, yeah, so like walking me through like City Edition, like which was hyper local at the time, and like telling me like, yeah, NBA teams are gonna get like a fourth colorway. And I was like, yo, this is sick.
Yeah.
And then they were like, hey, well, we got Kobe coming through next Monday if you want to like throw down on some Laker options. I was like, what? Like I can do that? But I'm doing tees. And they're like, no, everybody's helping out on everything. So I was just sure I want to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why not?
And then so I managed to, like, I don't even know like the template. Like I don't come from a fashion background. Like I don't know the materials, the applications. I'm like, okay, whatever, let's do it.
Yeah.
And I drew up like a version of a snakeskin jersey, and like Benny came back to my desk like, yo, Kobe picked the snakeskin one. Like maybe you should work on uniforms for a while and we'll get tees later.
Yeah.
And obviously Benny did what he did and like helped me, and then helped the uniform and Kobe like just form that, and like finesse and with the professionalism and like understanding of like embossing and all of these techniques I'd never even heard of, to really like craft it into what it is that you see now. But like to even just have a taste of like that as your first week, I was like, yo, like I saw him on Monday, like about to go into the room. I'm like, this is Nike. I guess people,
this is what they do.
Like this is normal.
And that's validation too, like, right? Like you're new, you're coming into the space, you're unsure, and you throw down this idea, and that's the idea. And it's like, yo, like I'm here, and I'm chosen. Like, you know, like who better to be like, yo, Kobe likes that. Like he likes what you did. You know, like that's validated. That's like the ultimate validation.
Another crazy story about the City Edition. Like, so they're showing on that same time they were showing me some of the like design work for some of the teams, and Kerry Williams was like working on Memphis options, and they're showing me the deck. He had this BB King inspired like uh uniform that was dope, and like on the mood board he had a picture of Lucille, which is BB King's guitar.
Yeah.
Behind the picture is the drummer, who's my dad.
What?
So I was like, yeah. It's like, yo, that's my dad. And he's like, the guitar? I was like, no, no, that's my dad. And he was like, wait. I was like, yeah, my dad was BB King's drummer.
What?
That's crazy. And it is crazy.
That's nuts.
And so they were like, well, we want to do a Prince uniform. Like, you should totally like throw down on that. And that's kind of how I got into the Prince uniform too.
Yeah.
And that amazing opportunity to be able to like do that uniform, which was insane. But yeah, it's crazy. My dad was BB King's drummer.
That's amazing. Like I mean, I'm a huge fan of BB King, but like just music, blues, in general, like that's amazing. Like your dad's the man. Like I was like I went to the Beatles. There's a in Liverpool. There's a spot where the Beatles used to play, and when you walk in there, there's a like a homage to BB King, and there's a case, and in that case there's Lucille. There's a version of his guitar signed by BB King. So like when you said that, I thought about that trip, but that's amazing, man.
Yeah, he was awesome. He's
Yeah,
the coolest, like most down to earth, like legend you could imagine. He just like gives everyone the time of day. Like, you know, after the concert, he's hanging out, he's shaking hands, he's having conversations with just random people, and just always just like in awe of him when like just his approachableness, even though
yeah.
he's just like this greater than life.
With your dad being, you know, his drummer and everything, do you guys ever just like talk about stories and like kind of like
Oh,
shows and like just crazy stuff that's happened on his journey?
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, well, so my mom and dad were never together. They loved each other and all that, but they were in a traditional like marriage. Obviously, because BB King, one of the most prolific like tourers, like he was always on the road. Like they probably did like 300 shows a year. So like
Wow.
no stops. So
Yeah.
he
Wow.
actually lives out here in Tigard, so I actually get to see him a lot more now in life.
Okay. Yeah.
And unrelated, just coincidence that.
Yeah. It just so happens.
But yeah, so I would like pick his brain, you know, all the time here and there, and like he'd tell me a few stories. One that stuck out, and like it's way better when like he tells the story. He's like way better at like just that energy. But one that sticks out to me is like the first time he saw and met Michael Jackson, and I was like, wait, Michael? It's like, yeah. And I was like, okay, and so he's telling me the story, but the way he tells it, he's like, yeah, so you know, we were in Tokyo. This was like 80s, 90s, or I'm not sure at the time. I think it was 90s, like when he was doing like the military
Uh,
inspired concert.
yeah, it's probably like 90, like early 90s. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had a show and BB had a show, and so Michael invited BB to the show, and BB was kind of like, guys, I'm tired. I'm not gonna go. Y'all can go. And so my dad and a few other band members go, and they're kind of giving each other shit. Like they're just kind of like talking smack to each other. Like, oh, what are you gonna do? You gonna like throw your panties at Michael when you see him? Blah blah blah. They're like all these old heads that don't really like care. And then, so they don't see them. They're backstage and stuff, and they have seats like front row or whatever to like watch that Michael like gave them. And then, you know how like Mike starts the show, like just pop, shows up in the middle of the stage and just stands there, just like doesn't move for like 5 minutes. And the crowd just goes crazy. Like he's not even doing anything. People are going crazy. And he's like, and we were like, going crazy. Like, even though they were just talking shit like 10 minutes ago. And then after the show's going on, like he brings kids on to have like, they sing whatever song. And while that's going on, like he's exiting and getting out the building.
Yeah.
So they were waved like, yo, y'all should come. He's about to come off stage. And the guy was like, hey, like, he's going to shake your hand, say hi, and then just don't ask any questions. And we'll be like, yo, like, this is BB King's band. Like,
yeah.
And so it was kind of very, like, strict. Like, he's, like, the icon or whatever. And, but my dad, like, he's always, like, trying to, like, finesse. He comes through, like, when my dad does his voice, he's like, oh, hi, nice to meet you. Like, not high pitched. Like, he actually had like some bass in his voice, which I was surprised to hear. He was like, no, like he actually, he sounds normal when you talk to him regular.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay, cool. And he's like, yeah, so, and then he's like, all right, thanks. Just walks past all.
He's like, we're not gonna have a conversation.
This is Michael Jackson.
Wow.
He started with Bobby Blue Bland. And then the story of how he started, I don't really know it in full detail, but one story that sticks out about that, he would like tell me how he got, like, I don't remember the artist, but it's like some crazy jazz flutist who was just like the most crazy, I don't know, super out and like has this concert or festival or something. This is before he's like a drummer for anybody. He's just really into music and trying to like, meet people and make a break. And he went to this concert not knowing anybody, not knowing the artist or any of the bandmates, with a flute. So he was walking around, like he got in, I'm coming, I got so-and-so's flute. Get out, like acting like he belonged there.
Yeah.
Through the gate, like with the security. And they're like, oh, and then they try to stop. It's like, what are you doing? This is the float. Like, you gotta get out. Are you gonna answer this? I'm like, oh my God. So then like he gets in and he's just standing around, and then he's like making friends with some of the other bands that are like backstage.
Yeah.
Hey man, like they ran out of passes with our crew. Y'all got an extra one for y'all's? Like, people keep questioning me. It's like a hassle, and like they give him an extra pass, and he's just like, all right.
I'm in.
And like, and now he's just like walking around making friends and like just like hustling to like figure it out.
That's amazing. No flute skills though, right? Like he doesn't play.
I don't even think there's an actual flute in there. I don't know. Like,
man, that's such a good story. Like, hey, that's all it takes. Sometimes all you need is a flute. You're good. Yeah.
To his credit, that's just like how he is, like how his mindset is. Like
he just makes it work.
In Austin, 2008, like pre-Obama election, my dad was like, yo, Obama's in town. We got to go see Obama. Let's go. He's going to be talking on Congress, like big crowd. Like, I'm like, all right, yeah, of course. So we go. And obviously there's like a million people in the streets, and we're in the back and like trying to work our way up. And this man is like, all right, let's hop this fence real quick and like, let's get around. I'm like, Dad, your big ass cannot hop this fence. Secret Service gonna be on us in a minute. Like, there's a crowd around, like we're gonna be looking all crazy. And sure enough, he's like, nah, we got this. Let's hop over. And I'm like,
your dad sounds like he's like the person you want to be. Like if you want to meet someone or you want to get on stage, like if you want to get to someone, it's like, yo, bring your dad and he'll figure something out.
Yeah, sure enough,
That's
service was on our ass. Like,
yeah.
and
Did you guys get to meet him?
no, hell no. Like
Oh,
we had to hop right back over and stand in the crowd with everybody else looking all crazy.
yeah.
It was an awesome experience though.
Is your dad from Texas
No,
or
he's from Kissimmee, Florida. So all
oh,
his family's
Florida?
out there in Florida.
Yeah. So in terms of like his work ethic and like, I mean, as well as your mom as well, you know, like you feel like that kind of that there are certain things that have rubbed off on you and like, you know, your dad's kind of figuring it out, like kind of, you know.
It's interesting. Like he wasn't really in my life like that. Like we are always like unconditional love. Like I always never had problems or anything. But like I would see him when they were in town to play, and like we'd have our weekend, or like he'd fly in for a birthday or something. But like he was always on tour, like all over the world.
Yeah.
And so I didn't see him a whole lot. So like it's kind of interesting how much influence or lack of influence there was, but still it's just ingrained. Like
Yeah.
I have a half sister too, and she's also a designer, and she works at
Wow.
Apple. And like my dad used to draw before he like played music, so I don't know. It's just like with
Creative.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
is it nature or nurture? Like I don't really.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just like nature.
Is your mom like on the creative side as well or
Not at all. No.
no? So yeah. So I mean, yeah, that could be like, you know, him because there's for me, I think most of my siblings have always either been in like some sort of creative mindset, even though they may like a lot of them didn't really, you know, make anything of it. But you know how you kind of just know it's always there. Like you have certain family members who can sing or who can do art or who are, you know, athletes. Like it was always there, but it was like I feel like I was the one who really just like said, okay, I'm gonna slang this talent. Like I gotta like push it all the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I think I was similar in that. Like I just found out early, and it was like
yeah,
everyone draws as a kid. Like you're in kindergarten, everyone's drawing, and like the kids were looking at my drawing like it was special, or like, oh, how'd you draw that? I'm like, what? Oh, you
yeah,
like this? I was like, I don't know. I guess I'm gonna keep drawing. People tell me I'm good. I like to do
yeah,
it. So then I nurtured that by like just keeping at it,
yeah.
and
That's
always.
interesting how you're talking about like nature nurture, like um, because I never really thought about it as something that you do for yourself too. Because you're saying, you know, like you nurturing that, like seeing that and then nurturing it in yourself
Yeah,
is separate from someone else seeing it and nurturing it in you, right?
right.
Because you kind of have to have you have to want it.
I don't know. It is interesting, like because you do see other kids doing stuff that you can't do, and you're
Mhm.
like, man, I want to do that, and you're just not. It's not your thing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, exactly.
for
Like
whatever reason, you just know, like, nah, I can't. Like this is
yeah,
me. And like
yeah,
that's I just feel lucky in the sense that like I figured that out early, because a lot of people grow up still trying to find that out, like what is that thing that like
yeah,
you just love that I you know.
yeah,
So that's why I feel really like fortunate and blessed to like be here doing this, like
yeah.
making a career out of like drawing and like combining that with sports and like having the best of both worlds.
Yeah. So, and then I guess lastly, just to touch on the MLK project, um, I was able to like kind of dig into the details about it. I watched a few YouTube videos. I saw that you were featured in one of the videos. I don't know if you knew you were going to be, but like just seeing like and my sister's from Atlanta. I visited MLK's burial site, which is pretty much right down the street from the church. Like I've been to different historical sites in Atlanta, and then I'm also from Boston, Massachusetts. So like there's a lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of MLK like places where either MLK would go in Boston when he visited, where they have like kind of signage that it's a historical site, as well as MLK.
I didn't know that.
And yeah, yeah, there's, I mean, and I think it might have something to do with Boston being such a, Harvard is there. I think either he gave a lot of speeches or like either had contact with a lot of Black people who were in the civil rights movement, who were either like educators or just like all around. For me, like MLK is like, I think he was just like the necessary voice at the, like you earlier you talked about um, things just like the right time. You were like, hey, if I had graduated on time, I wouldn't have been in the right place to be at Nike. And I feel like when you think about leaders and you think about MLK and different civil rights movement leaders and leaders, even now, like, with basketball players becoming such vocal about, injustice, like being in the right place and acknowledging your platform and then using that kind to elevate is like, it all has to line up. So do you feel like this project maybe like was like you were in the right place at the right time? Like, how did that come about?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to Atlanta. But Nate Bush, one of our guys, was out there and like he did all this amazing research, talked with the team, found out they were like interested in that, got to go check out um, some of the historical sites, pictures, and like inspiration. And obviously, I was like, oh, I absolutely want to throw down on this option, like do it justice. Because yeah, I mean, MLK was really significant to me growing up. Like I always idolized him and looked up to him. I felt like I wouldn't exist without him. Like especially being mixed Black and white American. Like I don't think it would have been possible for my parents to have met and came together to have me. So I always like put him on like the highest tier of just gratefulness, and like the debt that I owe him is like immense. But yeah, I mean the timing, all those things we talked about like led up to that, right? And then
Yeah.
it's interesting enough that it dropped this year with everything going on. Like we were working on that 2 years prior, not knowing the tumultuous year we're going to have and how relevant everything was. And
Yeah.
so it's like kind of crazy how serendipitous that was in itself. Like all those unknowns, like I don't know,
Together. It
just align literally. Like
yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
and
That's amazing. I didn't even think about that until like just the fact that you were working on this 2 years prior to everything that was going on, and just um, and then just to see what we've been through in the last year, year and a half, like that's true. Like,
yeah,
man, that's heavy.
yeah, that's crazy.
Um,
And like
yeah,
even just before getting into it, we were like, this is more than a jersey. Like this can't be regular like just roll out a jersey and business as usual. It's like we have to work with the estate and like make sure we do right. And
yeah,
they were able to work out like a give back deal. And so that was really important to us, especially on the design team, like coming up with this product, quote unquote, and then knowing everything else that's going to come with that, like all the marketing, like everything, like the eyes on it. Like the most important thing is the story and like
mm-hmm.
empowering everything that MLK stood for. So like, and that's the power of the brands and like Nike and the NBA and ATL. Like to be able to project that on that world stage, which is really amazing.
So I was looking at the jersey and I was like, man, like, well, at first, now that I've seen enough videos and I'm kind of like I understand the background of the jersey and everything, but at first I was like, how did they get all these like kind of customs? Because they have, you guys have the custom signature on the jock tag, just like that kind of story about I don't know if it was it or it was Alpha Phi Alpha, right? It was inspiring the gold and the black.
In fraternity.
Yeah, like all those details. Was there a lot? Was there any pushback at all about things, or was it kind of like an open book?
It's really interesting, like behind the scenes. We have inspirations and like what we intend things to represent in like our design decisions. But then there's also like, okay, what's like the marketing official word of that going to be also?
Yeah.
So like some of those things get kind of fudged to kind of like be a pretty picture, but it's all like from the same place. And like the window panes, for instance, like obviously inspired by Ebenezer Church, like the church MLK grew up in. But then
Yep.
the negotiations that go on with the estate and like how it's going to be talked about and like the rights and royalties that relate to that. Sometimes there's like give and take. So now it's just a window pane church window, it's not, but it's there. People can make the connections. It's like you can
Yeah,
see
it
it,
is.
like it's part of the dirty work after something's kind of done. It's like you can't get all the wins. Like
Yes.
everything that you want isn't going to be on the jersey. So like
Yeah.
give and take, and sometimes you can get it, and then it's just kind of like, well, let's just talk about it this way, and
Yeah.
then
It's more how you talk about it, like versus that whether you talk about it, because it's there's like you said legality there to say like are these the Ebenezer Baptist Church windows, or are they just kind of stained glass window like inspired by church windows in general? And we go through that in global football as well. Like you have to be careful how you relate to historical either monuments or events.
no, yeah, I totally feel great about
Yeah.
how it came out. Like I'm proud of everything that our team was able to do to make it come to life. Like it takes so many people. So
Yeah.
like just that in itself is like an amazing feat. And we're able to do that every year with 30 teams. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, this one was special. This will be in my heart forever.
To top that off, I kept doing some research and then I find out the Pope is signing jerseys. Like
Dude,
the Pope is throwing a signature on the MLK jersey, and I'm like, what?
that, dare I say, might be the only basketball jersey blessed by the Pope. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
the fact that it's even, that he would bless anything that we did.
That's
Oh,
like another level because it's like again back to like things lining up, right? You're talking about you're this young kid aspiring to be a graphic designer, going to school, having a love for sports, football, leaving school, coming back to school, right? Graduating later than you wanted to, getting to Nike, like, and it's like it's scary it's almost a little scary, right? When you look back at like how all the stuff lines up and then how these opportunities just like keep elevating themselves, even when you think, when you're like, okay, what's next? Like, what can I do? And a lot of it's out of your hands, right? Like you wake up and you're like, hey, the Pope is signing your design, and you're like, all right, good morning. Like, like what was that like for you?
I forget who it was. I think it might have been Nate or somebody in our like Instagram chat, like forwarded it. And I was like, what? And then like, bing, bing, bing. A few people like are sending it to me. And I'm like, holy, this is crazy.
Watch the video. Like it's like
I watched
this
the
is
video, saw it all over the news, ESPN, TNT.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's wild.
You know what I want? You know what? Did you talk to your dad about it? I'm like, what did he say? He's
He's like, "Give me one. Y'all make 3XL?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna see what I can. I don't know, man."
I got you.
Like, yeah. Like he's like, "Man, tell Nike, y'all gotta make big folk stuff."
Yeah.
He wants to do like a blues Nike project so bad. I'm like,
Hey, you never know. You never know. Like, actually, that brings me to my last question for you too. Is you know, when you look at all those different key points that you touched on, and actually with MLK talking about legacy, right, and what you want to, how you want to be remembered, and what you want people to say about you. What do you feel like is your legacy? And this can be non Nike related. This could be like in life. You know, what would you say are some of your big like things you want people to know about Cyrus?
It's big. First and foremost, just I always just try and be like an optimist. Like always try and have a good mood, positive outlook on like possibilities of just adversity that presents itself. And I try to give the benefit of the doubt, you know. So like being positive really, like not necessarily like, oh, I want to be known for like designing a Prince and MLK jersey. Like that's really awesome. And it's going to be something I tell the grandkids for sure. And I'm going to make sure they know they can't ever beat their old pappy at a game of horse. But like, I'm still figuring that out. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what the future holds. And that's part of the beauty is like, I just know it's going to work out, you know, like after going through all that stuff that I've gone through, I've kind of learned that like, okay, everything's all good. Like those past times where I was like freaking out, like putting all this immense pressure on myself around like this deadline or this project or this like conversation, like, well, it ended up working out. Take life as it comes and figure it out as you go is part of the biggest lesson I've learned. So I don't really know how I want to be remembered. I just know I want to be remembered positively. Like,
Yeah.
right.
I think that's the beauty of it, right? Like, yeah, positively. Like that's great. Like, um, yeah, thank you for like, you know, opening up and chatting with me about like all your experiences. Your dad sounds amazing. I didn't know that he was BB King's drummer. Like there's so many great things that we touched on. And yeah, I'm excited to see where things go with you in basketball. If it's outside of basketball, you know, whatever you decide to do, I think you know, your path is amazing, and keep doing it.
Yeah, thank you, man. This is awesome.
Man, so good. Like MJ, and like your dad hopping fences. Yeah, like
it's
amazing.
a lot in there. That's awesome.
Yeah. So it was great. It was great chatting with you. Yeah, I'm sure we'll do this again. And yeah, best of luck with all your projects going forward.
Thank you, man. Yeah, this is amazing. Appreciate the conversation.
Yeah.
Look forward to the next one.
Sounds good. All right, Cyrus. Well, take care, and I'll reach out if you need me.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.
If you enjoyed this podcast, check out some of our other Nike Pod sessions, where we have casual conversations with Nike employees about their experience inside Nike as well as outside of Nike. Thank you for listening.